Am I the asshole for telling my mother her children aren't mine? I, 17F, have 2 younger siblings, 14F, 13M. My mother works 8 a.m. 5 p.m. weekdays. When she gets off, she goes straight to my grandmother's house or her boyfriend's house and doesn't come home until 10 or 11 p.m. On weekends, she stays out at night. Whenever I ask to go out, which is rare, it's a no. Everyone has to come to my home, but then she complains about me inviting everyone over. I work a part-time summer job. I get paid enough for my needs and to put money aside for my upcoming senior events. When I get paid, I put about 50–75% of my money aside and buy whatever I need. I usually have enough to last me till the next time I get paid. My mother and I get paid the same week. She buys food with her first paycheck of the month and I buy food with my second paycheck. My mother buys mostly frozen food, junk food and canned goods. I, on the other hand, buy fruits and vegetables, sometimes snacks. So, about 3 days ago my mother bought the food she usually bought and left. I put away everything and continued my night. The next night, I went downstairs to find 90% of the food my mother bought was gone. I complained to my mother and she did nothing. I started to crave teriyaki and shrimp fried rice, so that's exactly what I bought. About 45 minutes later, it came and my siblings were complaining about how hungry they were. I told them to tell their mother, not me. A few minutes later, my mother came into my room screaming at me for not buying my siblings dinner. I told her they were her children, not mine, and I don't have to buy them anything. She told me to remember that and walked out. I shrugged my shoulders and continued to eat. Yesterday, my mother took my siblings and I to the mall. I went on my own as usual and bought some pink Crocs. My sister found me and told me that my mother said that I have to buy her something. I told her I didn't have to buy her anything because she isn't my child. She left and told my mother. My mom called me and just whispered, yelled at me and hung up. I checked out and went to meet back up with my mom at our usual spot. After about 15 minutes, I called my mom to see where they were. She told me that she left and to find my own way home. I had my best friend take me home. When I got in, no one had said a word to me. Am I the asshole for saying what I said? Edit. I've posted a small update. Not the asshole. Don't raise her kids. Get out quick. Not the asshole. Your mum is awful. You're almost 18, and should plan to leave as soon as you can. She's using you as a second parent to her kids. Not the asshole. Your mother is a self-centered, abusive and neglectful asshole though. I'm sorry you have to deal with that. It's not okay for you to be forced to feed and clothe your younger siblings, or babysit them 7 days a week. It is not okay for your mother to abandon you when you refuse to do so. You are a minor. Call CPS and get out of there as soon as you safely can. Make sure she can't access your money. Not the asshole. Report your mom to CPS for abandoning you at the mall if you think it will help, cause your mom is being extremely neglectful. Not the asshole. Your mother is using you, and parentification of the eldest sibling is a very real thing. You're right to say that she needs to feed her own kids and you shouldn't have to be feeding your siblings or being forced to buy them gifts. Look into moving out of forming if you're going to a 4-year school so you can actually keep the money you earn. Not the asshole. Your mother is neglecting you and your siblings. You are not the parent, and she isn't doing any parenting. Even worse, she retaliates when you don't fulfill her obligation as a parent to your siblings. I hope you're able to exit this dysfunctional living situation soon and take care of yourself. Am I the asshole for eating Indian food at work and pissing off the HR director? So my friend is of Indian descent and she had a small get-together for her birthday a few days ago. Her mom is an excellent cook and made all of the food for the get-together and gave me a bunch of leftovers to take home. Yesterday I was running late for work and grabbed 2 veggie samosas to take with me for lunch. Lunchtime rolls around and I grab my samosas from the fridge in the break room. I decide to eat them cold because I had to get a lot of work done and was in a rush, and the microwave in the break room is really old. I also didn't want the room to smell like spices, although I love Indian food lol. So I get back to my desk and start eating. The HR director walks into my office area because she needs to speak with my supervisor. Note that HR director where I work is a pretty unpleasant person and is generally unapproachable. She coldly asks where my supervisor is. I say that she's not in the office today but is available by email probably. She then glares at me and goes, "Are you eating Indian food? That's disgusting. I could smell it down the hall." And turns her nose up. I go, I didn't heat it up, and at this point I'm scared because I've clearly pissed her off. I turn to my coworker across the desk and ask if the samosas smell bad, and she looks at me and shakes her head no, and then looks back at the HR director. The HR director then goes, "That smell is making me nauseous. Throw it out." I then go, "I'm sorry, I didn't realize it smelled. Isn't your office downstairs?" She then glares at me and goes, "It's creating a disturbance and I don't appreciate your tone. I asked you to throw it out," and stared at me until I tossed it into the garbage. Was I the asshole? Not the asshole. She's creating a hostile work environment and frankly, she should be reported. Making your throw away your lunch is harassment. Not the asshole, and there's significant much wrong here. Start filing complaints, and don't stop until you reach the top. The HR person was completely inappropriate, and she has no business being in that role. Not the asshole. Some nerve to even colonize your lunch. Report her to her superior. Not the asshole. You need to find a bigger, meaner HR representative to report her to. That kind of behavior is unacceptable, especially from the Human Resources Department. Not the asshole. She was way out of line, especially considering you didn't hear it up. But even if you had a samosa doesn't smell bad. It isn't like you microwaved a fish. I'd report her to her manager. Not the asshole. WTF. What kind of person just demands someone throws their food away? You're forced to go hungry because they don't like the smell? I would have said no. This would have gone down a very interesting path. Am I the asshole for preventing my husband from throwing his daughter an engagement party? My husband's daughter, we'll call her Clara, recently got engaged and he wanted to throw them a party. This is important to him as he feels our daughter together got better birthday parties, and this is a point of contention with him. I wasn't even around when she was having these lackluster parties, so I don't know how it is my fault, but somehow it is. At first I agreed, but when I thought about it, the groom's mother is banned from our house. She called me a whore to mutual friends, and she got drunk at our house and announced we are bad people for getting married and having a baby, because she never would have done that to her son, and she bragged about how she never introduced a single boyfriend to her son because he wasn't okay with it. That is her choice, but personally I don't think it is healthy to let a child run your life to that extent. She also breastfed her daughter at a dinner party, which was fine, but caused her to spill food all over my couch. When I was annoyed, she told people I'm anti-breastfeeding, and made a joke about how Clara will never want to bring her future children to our house. Needless to say, she is banned. My husband already told Clara about the party. He then had to backtrack and explain that while he still wants to throw her a party, the groom's mother cannot come. Clara got irritated and said she didn't want the party then and that he was making her vent about me. She said I should have thicker skin and not care what this woman says, and cited that her fiancé offered to pay for our couch. My husband asked me to reconsider and I said no. There really isn't time to book a venue, so we are just going to cancel. He is now mad at me and thinks I should let it go this one time. I am just not okay with being disrespected, or having someone say my daughter should not exist right in front of my daughter. You are the asshole. It's a singular night, and it's a big moment for his daughter. It's not like she is visiting every week. Edit. Read OP's comments, she truly shines through in them. Everyone sucks here, other than Clara. Husband should have run it by you first. Edit. He did, so he's definitely not the asshole. Groom's mom sounds like a right pain. You should understand that this is about Clara and not you, and avoid her for the night. She's gonna be at the wedding, and this could cost you your own invite, so you're gonna have to learn to play nice. The groom's mother sounds like a nightmare, but you're making this all about you and your beef with her, while Clara, who should be the main focus, gets lost in the mix. Surely, you can find some kind of compromise to make this work, but you seem completely uninterested in celebrating Clara and are fine to just cancel her party entirely. That's just so cold and selfish of you. Info. Why not rent a hall to have the party in and then avoid the mill while you're there? Not the asshole. You have non-negotiable boundaries that must be respected. The mother of the groom did her damage. That bridge is burned, and can only be rebuilt with an honest apology from that woman. Which I doubt you'll get because she sounds just nasty. Stick to your guns on this one and do not compromise. Do not bend to let that vile woman back into your house. I promise you she will only start another scene and have more trash to talk, and you shouldn't have to take that. So no one noticed the animosity the stepmother possibly holds for the stepdaughter? The dad wanted to host the event because his younger daughter had better BD parties and the stepmom basically said it wasn't her fault the older daughter had crappy parties. Am I the asshole for telling my mother-in-law she can't just throw in on my husband's birthday gift? My husband is notoriously difficult to buy for. When you think you've got him something he won't guess and will like, he'll either guess it or not like it. I'll be honest, he can be a little ungrateful at times. But I digress. Every year for his birthday and Christmas he's asked what he wants and he usually has no ideas to offer. So, it's become commonplace for my mother-in-law to ask me for ideas. I often have ideas for her. When we discuss it, she'll ask what I'm getting him and always wants to get him that gift, or throw in towards it and say it's a joint gift. I really enjoy gift giving and love watching someone light up. I've lost so many of those moments for myself because they're joint gifts. I know that's a little selfish, but I put a lot of thought into what I gift people, especially him. I've had a really tough 18-ish months because of my mental health and he was an absolute lifesaver. I won't go into details, but he kept everything together while supporting and loving me. He's wanted a new iPad for over a year, but doesn't want to spend the money on himself. I decided to go a little overboard for his birthday this year and get him the iPad he wants. When discussing ideas with my mother-in-law, she asked what I was getting him and I told her. She then started saying that she'll just throw in on that. I hesitated and said, "Oh, I'm going to get him the iPad myself." Sorry. Then she gives me but that's a better gift than anything of the other ideas, and it's easier to just make it a joint gift. I again say that I'm giving it to him by myself. A few days later she says again that she's going to transfer me money for the iPad. I said no and was a little firmer this time. She kept pushing, of course. My father-in-law called me earlier today to say he thinks I'm being dramatic and it's just an iPad, I should share the gift. I told him that I'm spending $1,100 and $100 does not make it a joint gift. He told me that I'm really upsetting my mother-in-law and all because $100 isn't 50% of the gift. I tried explaining to him that it's not just the money. I want it to just be from me to him and I don't want to give a joint gift. He ended up telling me that I'm being a selfish BTCH over an iPad. Am I the asshole? Should I just let them throw in the $100 and say it's a joint gift? Not the asshole. Gift giving is so much more than the money, and your mill is trying to latch onto your work of figuring out what he wants and actually buying it. Stand your ground. Make sure the card says, "From Op," and nothing else. And next time, don't tell her what you're getting, say you're not sure yet. Absolutely not. Do not let this woman lay claim to a gift you look forward to giving your husband. Take her $100, buy him a tie, a blanket, and a mug. And slap your lazy MIL's name on it. If I found out my parents were harassing my fiancé in a similar fashion, I would be livid. Edit. Worked myself up a little bit here, but honestly you can probably just tell your husband the situation and he won't be surprised. Not the asshole. Stop telling them what you're getting him. Or tell her a different gift so she gets him that and you get him what you really wanted all along. Lol. He called you a B? Don't help them ever again. Do you have an idea for them? No, sorry. What are you getting him? Don't know, still thinking about it. You don't owe it to them to help them all the time, especially if they are being so rude and ungrateful. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I saw the comment that you wrote saying she hates giving gift cards. I would buy him the iPad from you and buy a $100 Apple gift card from her and wrap them separately with your name on the iPad and hers on the gift card. Hubby happy with shiny new iPad and pocket money. You happy? Mill put in her dramatic place but still contributing to the gift. Peas. Never tell her what you're buying again. Always, I haven't made my mind up yet answers. Not the asshole. Your mill could also be accused of being dramatic. Who does your mill think she's fooling anyway? Certainly your husband knows she chronically horns in on your gifts. Why doesn't she just give him a gift card to a restaurant he likes since she's unopposed to throwing money at the problem? Or, she could give him a gift card for gas. Everyone can use that these days.